Film Club.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us in another episode. Hang on.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us in another episode of Film Club. I am one of your hosts, Andy Harrison. To my right, as always, Danny Donaldson.
That was a good intro compared to the burger shit.
Every single week in Film Club, we invite you along to dive into some of cinema's best before bringing us back here to talk about whether or not that film is still holds up, whether or not it's still worth talking about. Andy, this week, what have we been watching? Elf. We're getting Christmassy. I didn't bring the Christmas hats this year.
No one likes you.
I'm sorry. We have one more Christmas film, which is next week, and I might bring the Christmas hats then.
Do you know what you are? You're a cotton-headed ninny muggin.
The cuss. The cuss.
Oh, yeah.
So, Andy, what is Elf about?
A human gets adopted by Santa. He hides in Santa's bag, so he gets adopted by Santa, becomes an elf, not realising he's actually human, and he's clumsy, and he's too big for his job, and he doesn't make toys very quick, but he makes snowballs quick, and then he goes off on a journey to find his own dad, who, by the way, is fucking awesome. His dad, James Caan.
Yeah. Why is he awesome?
Well, Andy doesn't know why it's awesome because it's such a contrasted character. So you see James Caan there, and it's great because you got this guy who's like really, we're going straight into James Caan, I'm sorry, really imposing presence.
Screw the rest of the film.
No, I think he's classed as James Caan. I didn't realise who it was until second or third time I saw it. Really imposing presence. He's looking like a bit, he's on the naughty list, like all this. And yet he's still got some love about him. He's got some character. And what a contrast to what you haven't seen yet. Sonny Corleone.
Godfather.
So he's Sonny Corleone on The Godfather, and it's just like, holy shit! So it's really, really cool seeing him do that, and it's just like, it's when you see these, okay, here's a good one for you. It's when you see something like eyebrows, Johnny
Depp.
No, not here's Johnny. What's he called? Jack
Rubber.
Why do you please don't just? What's his name? Jack Nicholson, is it?
Yeah, Jack. We'll go Jack Nicholson.
Yes,
he is Johnny.
My head's gone absolutely way. But then you see something called As Good As It Gets. You haven't seen that film, but then it's like it's Jack Nicholson, isn't it? Yeah, Jack Nicholson and As Good As It Gets, and it's funny seeing these characters that like go from one extreme to another. You got Robin Williams once played a dark character, and you got James Caan in this, and I think he does it really well. Big fan of James Caan. So
if we're on cast, we can't talk about Elf without talking about
Zooey Deschanel.
Clearly where I was going with that, Zooey Deschanel.
Zooey Deschanel is awesome. I'd just like to say Zooey Deschanel with blonde hair is awesome.
This is probably, I remember watching this
films, isn't it?
ages and ages and ages ago.
Is it one of her earlier films?
It's got to be, because I remember watching this and not knowing who she was, like not seeing her and being like, oh, it's Zooey Deschanel, just seeing her leaving the film, not really thinking about who that was. Then watching it later on and being like, what the hell? That was Zooey Deschanel.
It's a sixth film something. I don't know where that hits near. Do you remember they did that Flaked film? Because that was one of her earliest ones. That I do believe. But no, it's a sixth film. This one, so well played to her.
And well cast, I think, because they actually use one of Zooey Deschanel's best talents, which is she's a great singer.
She's a fantastic
singer.
She's a
really great singer.
Last year, I think it was, we did a thing with her. I think it was when we did 500 Days of Summer, and we showed where they sing together. Her and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and she sings. What's it called? He and I, she and I, she and him, she and him.
And he and I.
Well, it's quite funny because it's Andy and I, and she's got a band called She and Him with some guy, and they're really good, and she's a fantastic singer, and how well to reference that in the film when she's in the shower and she's like, singing in front of people.
They make it a nice integral part of a character.
And then at the end, like it's her that gets the Christmas spirit up and kind of like, so I really like that. Plus she does that really cool stare where she's freaked out by Will Ferrell's elf, just going, hey.
So we then have to move on to Will Ferrell.
See, this is interesting. It's funny you saying this about Will Ferrell. I can't find the name of the band she's in. It's funny you saying this about Will Ferrell because you're not normally not necessarily his biggest fan, but the films he's in, biggest fan.
Normally don't like him.
Like, what's he normally in with the guy like, I know it's
Step Brothers.
Anchorman, stuff like that. Yeah, it's normally done by that guy. We did a 40-year-old virgin. I can't remember his name. The director, I mean. And that their kind of group that they have, you're really not a fan, are you?
No, not really.
So I was very interested to see how you
I've liked, at the time of seeing them, I did quite like things like Anchorman and 40-year-old virgin.
Anchorman's so good.
And I'm sure they do stand up in a lot of ways.
40-year-old virgin.
Especially now, I think he's definitely kind of dipped in quality in terms of what he's putting out.
He's
always
got
a
nothing
bit-
on Nemo Cowbell.
It's just a bit improv for me. In fact, the moments in this film that I don't like generally are the obvious improv moments.
I can feel it in my plums.
Like when they've clearly let him improv on the
Thank you.
escalator.
I quite like that. I quite like that. I like that.
But he embodies the character of Buddy
Yeah.
so well because he is the perfect casting for somebody who is like, he's got a childlike quality about him, but he's in this awkward man body.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you reckon he improvised a cotton-headed ninny muggins? Was that scripted in?
I think that's definitely scripted in.
Okay. I really like Will Ferrell. I'm a huge fan of Anchorman. And just Will Ferrell in general, like old school stuff like that.
How many times have you seen Elf?
It's one of those Christmas films you see every year. And so like, Andy was on about, do you want to do Christmas films? I was like, fuck it, we're doing Elf.
So it came out in 2002.
Two.
Right? 2000 and... Who knows?
2003.
2003.
Oh, yeah, I'm fucking right as well.
So it came out in 2003, which means if you watch it every year, you have had the opportunity to watch this 14 times. Have you done that?
I'd say it's probably more. One of those films you watch, you always watch over. It's so good. It's like, obviously you keep saying it, thank you. The line I was saying to him, he goes, what's that from? And I was like, when he's taking the banners at the start when he first enters New York.
He's going back and forth between the two guys.
Thank you.
Then they're like, no, you can't have me.
Yeah. I quote, this is Will Ferrell films are notoriously quotable, and I do this a lot with my friend Kia and a few others. Like, this is like one of our favourite Christmas films, so it's kind of like...
And this is like every year. I do love this film, but every year I have to watch it. I don't say have to, but Natalie loves it.
Oh, is it? Because you said this, like Natalie be buzzing. I didn't fully get that. Is she a huge fan of this?
Oh, she loves this film. I mean, this has got to be in a top like 3 Christmas films.
Really? Right,
so we do watch it like every year.
Santa!
And to be fair, it's got the perfect Christmas tone.
Well, it does, because I didn't realise this again at the start. When I was watching it, when Santa's towards the end of the film, where Santa's sleigh goes off, some fucking nice music there, like. And it's the same guy who did, I'll find out, it's the same guy who did Spider-Man 2 and 3. And he also did, I believe he did The Avengers, and he did Captain America.
Not Danny Elfman.
not Danny Elfman, John Debney. There you go. So I was really impressed. I was really impressed because it had that like Christmas feel to it. I could do it. It's like string section. It goes da 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 like this.
Kind of like classic Christmas.
Yeah, exactly.
Almost like the end to Home Alone. That sort of like
yeah. So it's
John Williams-esque.
Yeah, and it's like when I was watching this film, it's always got this Christmas feel to it. But I'm not gonna lie, right? Okay, so I'm a huge fan of Christmas. I fucking love winter. It's like my favorite season, and I haven't had that like warming heart butterfly Christmas feeling up until today when I watched Elf. And I was watching it, I was like, fuck yeah, I'm so ready for Christmas. So
I think you need films that are like this to get you into the Christmas spirit a little bit.
Yeah.
Because
it's all about Christmas spirit at the end of the film.
It tells this wonderful story of like spreading positivity, and it's not the deepest film in the world. They're not supposed to be the deepest films in the world. They're supposed to be fun and enjoyable and funny and send a good message out to everybody. And this one totally nails it. I love things like the production design of like when he's in the North Pole and everything's tiny, like down to the.
Yeah, it's funny that
when he's walking across outside and the trees are small and he's the size of a tree.
Yeah,
It's not just what the elves have built that's small. Like his world is small and he feels so out of place in that. Then similarly, you get the kind of the gag right at the end when he takes Zooey Deschanel back there,
and
they're
both
massive. Huge, and she's wearing an elf costume because why not?
Going on about that when he leaves the North Pole for the first time, one of my absolute favourite bits is the little characters they have, like
the little stop motion,
guys, bye buddy, bye buddy, bye, and then someone comes out the water and it's like, bye buddy, hope you find your dad. And he goes, thank you, Mr. Narwhal. It's just like, what the fuck? It's brilliant. It's really well done. It completely out there. Now, so really interesting. Guess who directed it?
Jon Favreau.
I was like, what? I never knew he directed this until I just watched it today. I was like, what? So for those that don't know, Iron Man 2. And he did something recently as well.
What did he do recently?
He did a film recently. He did one of the, I'm sure he did one of the Avengers one recently.
No, he didn't do an Avengers film. He hasn't worked on a Marvel film since Iron Man 2.
He's produced them. I can't.
Which again, you can kind of see where that comes from. Like I know I was complaining about the improv stuff earlier, but like, it's that improv nature from Jon Favreau which built Iron Man. Like Iron Man famously didn't have a script. Well, they kind of had a script, but they were constantly changing that script.
Do you reckon it was partly due to Robert Downey Jr. though, because he's very
partially? But I think it's clearly down to Jon Favreau as a director as well. He clearly encourages that stuff.
Pretty good.
And that's what's led to some of the stuff in Elf. I'm sure there's some stuff in Elf which is like people love it. It's iconic. And it's from that improv nature.
Yeah.
It just for me, I prefer the gags where like it's better crafted, it's better written. It's all about like him being an elf that makes him a fish out of water in New York.
Yeah,
like the stuff where
the world's best coffee. I know it's off the trailer. That fucking always gets me.
Like
and he takes it back there again.
That's great. Like the world's best coffee is a perfect example because like he takes something so literal and it becomes like. He just takes it to heart, which has like there's an earnest, honest quality about it, which becomes it becomes the message of the film at the end.
Yeah,
and like to reference back to it later on that's awesome. That's really well written stuff.
I have a feeling there's something you don't like about this film besides the odd improvisation.
Right,
because you always go, but right now
I'm not gonna have a but. I wasn't going to like a big sort of like, but this ruins the film for me. There's one thing I don't like about this film in particular. And rewatching it this time just highlighted again for me. I don't like the park rangers at the end.
What, the Four Horsemen?
I think it's so out of left field.
Yeah, it is a bit.
It's too random. They haven't been in the rest of the film.
But you need an antagonist.
You don't. It's the thing. The film was going so well without having an antagonist. The antagonist was the idea of Christmas spirit falling itself. Yeah. And what they did it for was to basically have
some
higher
motivation
energy
to get
so like
out.
To have him a reason to like he has to get out of Central Park now. Rather than him taking his time a little bit.
You're right. That was obvious.
So for me, I don't like them. They never really show their faces because they're not characters. They're just a thing.
Yeah.
They are just like an ex machina. Deus ex machina. So yeah, that for me is a little bit of like a at the end of the film.
I suppose. Can you define the perfect Christmas film? Well, It's a Wonderful Life, actually. Yeah, good point. Okay.
No, there is a perfect Christmas film. It's called Gremlins.
I'm not a huge fan of Gremlins.
Get out.
You need to school me in Gremlins. But I never liked it when I was younger, so I've not seen it in years, like 10 years.
So I'd like to announce this is the last episode of Film Club we'll ever be doing.
I'll be on next week where we fucking rip the shit out of Gremlins. No, there's another good scene, and I completely whipped past it. Obviously, when they're on about the whole book deal, and James Caan, his team like, we'll get so-and-so and so-and-so, and I can't remember the name of the actual character.
Dinklage.
Yeah, so Peter Dinklage comes in.
Dink.
And I didn't know it was Dinklage at the start. And he commands that scene so well. He's just like, call me elf one more time. And buddy, fucking bless him. He's just so innocent. He goes, are you an elf?
Again, wonderful
great,
writing because like he's not being mean, he's not being mean-spirited, he's just so earnest with this misunderstanding of being a fish out of water that like just his elf nature clashing with New York sensibility just creates this hilarious situation where he's accidentally calling someone who has dwarfism an elf.
Is this because of Peter Dinklage, is this before we did the station agent with him and we did obviously we did. He's in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Do you reckon that's before this?
Yeah, sure.
Game of Thrones.
This is before both of those, right? Because
when's the station?
Game of Thrones would be like about.
No, this is the same time Station Agent.
Same year.
Yeah.
2003.
2000, exact same year. She's done both those films. Cool. What a contrasting character.
Yeah.
Because Station Agent was very kind of like shrewd and stuff like that, wasn't he?
Yeah. But he gets to play. I guess he gets to. He definitely got himself into a lot of interesting roles, and this is just one of them. Like he got to play a lot of kind of like the sort of characters you wouldn't normally see open to someone who has that sort of physical disadvantage against him.
But so he also plays. We're going about the antagonist kind of thing situation. He also plays like a mini antagonist role. I mean, obviously James Caan, his dad does as well. But the point is a mini antagonistic kind of role. But you actually care about him because they big him up earlier on. It's like we'll get him in. And everyone's going, it's so-and-so like this.
And they shoot his entrance really well as well.
Oh, this fucking great entrance. What an entrance. But yeah, so going back to what you said about the Four Horsemen, it's just like, Park Rangers, cool, nice one. We should run away.
Yeah, I think the thing is with the Horsemen, I think they tried to do a gag with it and it just kind of fell a bit flat.
Yeah.
For me. But so stuff that I do love in this film, and stuff that always stays with me, right? I have to mention, because it's got to go down here, the scene where everyone's left and he's having breakfast, and he's just like he's got this spaghetti.
It's on phone to his dad, isn't he?
He's just hung up from his dad, and then he's squirting all the syrup on the thing. He's getting all the Pop-Tarts. He's like,
I think how, like, he's almost about to eat it, and he sees Pop-Tarts and goes, no, I must have more.
Yeah, and like I think in terms of quotable lines, for me, it's always
thank you.
It's always we elves try to stick to the 4 main food groups.
Oh yeah, what is it?
It's candy canes, candy corn,
syrup,
candy, and
candy canes.
syrup.
Yeah. I fucking love Elf.
Which is just great. Again, it's that weird sort of clashing of worlds. Like, for whatever reason, elves can exist, and they can exist on a diet purely of sugar.
And he goes, oh yeah, I've got a whole 40 minutes to sleep.
Yeah, exactly. And then I love that he's like, so they consider him a terrible elf, but he's actually some sort of superhuman.
Yeah, when he gets to like the snowballs with the lack of sleep, living off sugar.
And the fact that at the beginning, when he's getting his not kicked out of his job, but like he's getting the flack from his job. They're like, how many Etch-a-Sketches did you make today? And he's like, 85. And you're like, oh my God, you had 85 Etch-a-Sketches in one day. And they're all like,
it's like when he goes and
puts him like 1,000 off pace or something.
Is Elf, the guy does his dad.
Oh yeah, Papa Elf.
Yeah, I thought I recognised him, but I don't. I thought it was the guy. I thought it was Frank off Hot Rod, for those who get it, Lonely Island film, and it's not. I do apologise.
Wonderful framing device, actually, with him being the narrator at the opening and at the end.
Oh, in the book?
Yeah.
Actually, that's really good, actually, how they do the book, and then they close it with a book at the end, don't they?
Nice, again, just gives that Christmassy
feel,
story, sort of like, it's got that kind of childlike wonder to it.
I liked Elf.
It's those little touches which, for me, really make Elf a good Christmas film. Not necessarily not necessarily this like epic film in terms of its structure, in terms of its character. It's not trying to do any of that. It's trying to be a timeless Christmas film.
I think it does hit timeless.
I mean, 2003, this film, like I said, it's been out for 14 years, and people still talk about Elf being one of the Christmas films to watch. And, completely agree. Completely agree.
Are you going to watch it every year now?
I have to. I'm married.
Oh, darn marriage.
I'm sure I can pick up some sort of weird, obscure Christmas film that you have to watch in exchange for watching Elf.
What, a shit one like Gremlins?
No, all the cool people like Gremlins. We got married based on the fact that we both like Gremlins.
Actually, to be honest, you have so much Gremlins stuff in your house.
We are going to do Gremlins next year. I didn't realise you weren't keen on Gremlins.
Well, why don't we do Love Actually and Gremlins next year? We're
going to do Love Actually and Gremlins next year, and you are gonna come to love Gremlins, or you're going to get kicked off the show. So that was Elf. You can let us know in the comments below what you thought of Elf, or you can hit us up on Twitter. We'll be back once again next week with another film where we'll be watching
The Grinch, or How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
I think it's just called The Grinch, isn't it?
I really don't care. Okay, so I'm joking about Gremlins. Watch next week's review if you want to hear me actually not like a film.
So
I'm not looking forward to this.
We'll be back with Andy in his most Christmassy of spirits.
Honestly, it's ironic that
The Grinch.
We're watching The Grinch, which is a film about a guy who hates Christmas, about a guy who
a
review of a guy who really despises that film.
That's because you're so Christmassy. You're basically Father Christmas when he was young and sexy.
It's the happy stuff about that film, but yeah, The Grinch.
So we'll see you guys next week.